Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the preview for the game against West Ham away. We've got Moyesy's boys. Yes, hello, everyone. Welcome to the preview. We're playing West Ham. How's it going? Apart from the kind of spanking against Liverpool yesterday, I believe they got beat 5-1. Don't pay that much attention when Liverpool are playing. I was looking at the record before, lads, right? Pretty good form. Last 10 games, they've won 7, drew 1 and lost 2. And in the run of this season, they've beat teams like Brighton, they've beat teams like Arsenal, and they beat teams like Spurs as well. So they aren't just any old outfit who you could just, turn over. It's going to be a very difficult game. So just talk to me about this. Anyone can kind of jump in on it. Because I was explaining off camera, I hate these kind of games. I look at it, they're only 1 point behind us in the table. If West Ham beat us, they go above us, by the way, and we drop down to like 8th or 9th. We've just had a very tricky game against Anfield. Does anyone feel like this could be a potential banana skin?
I think there's just two sides to it. I think if we lose or drop points, I don't think that any United fan will be actually surprised because, they would still go that, this is a very inconsistent side. This is more likely to happen. And once on top of that, we're, playing away and our away record is absolutely horrible, especially against the top 10 teams. But on the other hand, I think even if we draw and if we actually win, I think it will have some massive implications on our season moving forward because this will be the first time where we put in a solid performance, I would say, against Liverpool, and then we back that up with another performance the following week against a very good side who have been performing really well. So personally, I only see upside to it. I think even if we lose, I wouldn't really be surprised because I think the still has a lot of holes in it. But I think if we pick the right players, if the right 11 starts the game against West Ham, I think we do have it in us to actually get the better of them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think, West Ham, it's just one of them, like, I said again, we speak about it off camera. I always feel like we shouldn't because we get most of the preview out in 20 minutes when we're waiting to come on. And I just talk about the majority of it and like, oh yeah, just been talking about that. But the natural physical presence of him and the set pieces and all these 1v1 situations with Baldwin and Kudus, which we're going to get into, are going to cause some serious problems. So I am not looking forward to that at all. So obviously we've got Anfield in the back of our mind still, Connor. Not the greatest performance ever. We had to do what we had to do. Went in there, backs to the wall. We was all kind of expecting it. What do we change in this West Ham game? How can we be more proactive? What do you think will be the difference, basically, is what I'm asking, from the Liverpool game to this one as we head into it?
Well, I think we're all hoping to try and capitalise on what we did at Liverpool. I think we was solid at the back with Evans and Varane. I think we're hoping to do a similar thing at West Ham because obviously going to West Ham will be a tough game. We all know they're very set piece kind of side, and adding Ward-Prowse to that, we're going to have to be on it in defence. So we're hoping Evans and Varane can do a similar job really. But I think what I'm worried about mainly is like who's going to be starting midfield because I feel like we all know a couple that will be starting there already with McTominay, and obviously Bruno will be back. So it's who plays with McTominay because obviously I would prefer Amrabat, Mainu, and Bruno to be fair, but I just feel like McTominay is going to keep his place. So we're probably going to get overrun again. But it's just like, can we do similar? Just keep West Ham out and just try and get like a scruffy goal or like a counter attack or something. I don't think we're gonna outplay West Ham for sure. But if we can get a draw or win, I'll be happy with that.
I think, well, yeah, one, it's at their stadium and our away record is absolutely atrocious. Two, it does depend on the midfield, doesn't it, Shreyas? Because this has been a fucking talking point for so long now. Like, do you think he will revert back to that McTominay, Bruno, and Amrabat? Because surely Mainu deserves to start in this, right?
I think personally, if any of them, if you look at it in any dimension, and if you have to compare it to West Ham's midfield and how to counter it, anyone would go Amrabat, Mainu, and Bruno. Amrabat and Mainu, I think in the second half they both played really well, but throughout the course of the game, Mainu was absolutely brilliant in that game. And personally, I think he should start. I think the moment you pick McTominay out of that midfield and you put Bruno in, I think that midfield's I would say output and just the basic temperament and the way it will be able to assert itself against players like Thomas Suchek, your Edson Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse. I think it will be much better. So the moment you put Scott McTominay in, there's a big void in that midfield, and with the way we play, that void can be easily exploited. Considering they've got players like Kudus and Jared Bowen and Lucas Paqueta, who are all, I would say, in great form right now. So
Yeah.
Personally, I think it is time that we finally see Amrabat, Menu, and Bruno start as a midfield, because McTominay cannot function as a 10 or even as an 8. I would say the only way he
Just
can
can't
function is, just last 50 minutes, crash the box and hope that he'll score. That's the only way you can actually get anything out of McTominay. So I think if you go away at West Ham, especially after how they've lost against Liverpool, they'll also be looking to actually get a strong performance in the Premier League, and they'll be looking at it and seeing that United is a very inconsistent side. They had a very good performance last season, in their last game at Anfield, but will they be able to back it up again? Because you look at, this entire line. For the first time, I'll say back line, I think it can still hold. If they can hold Liverpool, they can still hold against West Ham. Midfield is a big
Yeah.
question mark because of the players that will be picked. I think that Bruno won't be dropped, McTominay won't be dropped, so it just leaves Amrabat, I think, or Menu. One of them will play. And in the attack, Højlund is a big spark, but we are just not able to use him altogether because of the players we've got on the wings.
Has anyone seen that video of Højlund? Please tell me. Oh, it's not actually Højlund. It's that guy singing. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I keep seeing it again about everywhere, man. I'm just like, Højlund needs to score because this curse on him. I'm not calling the guy a curse. I'm just saying this song guy, people keep putting his song out every time he's not scoring. So I hope he can break the Premier League record, because the more that drags on, the more videos and memes and all this kind of stuff that's going to come out about him. But it's a weird one, right? Because we know that Højlund isn't getting service. We've seen the statistics for that, bottom of the table. But I was looking at Bruno's stats before, Connor, right? And he's created the most chances in the league. But our front three have got combined like 4 goals in total or something ridiculous in the league. It's probably a few more than that, but it's not great. When you watch Bruno Fernandes this season, do you feel like he creates enough? Do you feel like he's providing the striker enough? Do you think there's that relationship there? Like he had with Martial, for example, when he first came in?
It feels like, I feel like with Bruno, every time I watch him play, even if he's behind, the striker, to set out with, it always finds himself all over the pitch. I feel like he always tries to do the dirty work for everyone else, and it just leaves, Højlund a bit staggered, because it's just, we want Bruno to be up the pitch trying to provide for Højlund to try and get like a better relationship with the striker. But it's just hard when we're getting overrun in the midfield pretty much nearly every game, to the point where Bruno is like in defence trying to win the ball back and then trying to push up the field again. And he's either on the wing, he's in the midfield, he's in defence. It's kind of like, it's hard, for Højlund to, get that, service when, Bruno's everywhere. But it will be, I feel like that's probably going to be like that until we're more solid in that midfield and the defence is right as well. So I feel like once we've got Sandro back, if Varane stays in the team,
to build off. Yeah.
It's like maybe when Casemiro comes back, and we see either Amrabat or Menu in there with him to keep it more composed in the midfield, maybe that's when Bruno can be like, okay, I can be a bit up front more and to try and supply for Højlund. But it's just been a hard one for Højlund. I like, for the service.
You feel sorry for him, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, when you've got our main, creative player not being able to give them the service, and then you've got the wingers that are like trying to play for themselves more at times as well. It's kind of like, what can you do? And like Højlund only can do right now is just try and find those right runs to get in the right positions to get on the end of something. But then it's just relying on, our full-backs, whoever is playing or whoever's playing on the wing, try and, deliver that cross so Højlund can get on the end of it.
Yeah, I'm going to start describing everyone calls the striker position like a graveyard shift, and it's been called that for a while. But what I'm going to start calling it is the Dan shift, because Dan, who's on the channel, works from like 2 till 10. It's like the worst shift possible. So I'm going to start. I don't know if he's still watching. He was in the chat before, but I'm going to start calling it the Dan shift. Because I feel sorry for them both, to be honest with you. Dan having to work that and Hoyland with the services game. So big shout out to Dan. We've got more and more people joining the chat, which is amazing to see. Get your opinions in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts on the midfield, how you think Erik ten Hag is going to line up. One player we've had back, Shreyas, we've not even spoke about yet, is Christian Eriksen. What about him? Because we're all speaking about Manu and Amrabat and Bruno, but Eriksen's back in training. He's available for Saturday. Are you expecting a return from the Danish
I am
maestro?
expecting a return. I'm genuinely expecting a return because all throughout the course of last season and even this season on a lot of occasions, we've seen that Ten Hag seems to favor Eriksen a lot. He is one of his core players, I would say, in that midfield. Even during the course of last season, even when we thought maybe Fred will play this game, maybe he'll go with someone else this game, he's always picked Eriksen. And I would say somehow, if I have to compare Eriksen to other midfielders who we have, I do get that there are a lot of flaws to Eriksen's game when you look at the defensive side of things. But moving forward, I think he's one of
that midweek kind of Champions League fixture. Amrabat and Manu should start again, but this is not going to happen until Bruno is unavailable because McTominay picks himself. I always feel as well with McTominay, whenever we play Burnley or a West Ham or anyone like that, they try adding a bit of height and a bit of physicality. So that I guarantee if Erik ten Hag get asked about why he's playing McTominay tomorrow, Saturday, he's going to say, West Ham physical team's got a bit of height about him, works hard, blah, blah, blah.
And
anyway,
I think he plays the worst against these sort of teams when they try to amp up the pressure on him. And I think it will be once again with, like I said, McTominay. I think he's always a gamble, no matter which game you put him in. If he scores a goal, then you can, barring the goal, he's practically non-existent on the pitch. So I think it's a very, very big gamble on Ten Hag's side that just to get one goal, which is not even certain. It's not like he's scoring game after game after game. He's very inconsistent in that format as well. So I just think that this West Ham game, I personally think if people are, judging it off of the back of, the game we had against Liverpool at Anfield, I wouldn't be surprised if we drop points at all. I think if McTominay does get dropped, whether it's for Manu or even I would say for Eriksen, because I think Eriksen is someone who probably might be able to actually help Hoyland out a lot. Because I think whenever we've had Eriksen on the pitch, one thing is certain that, moving forward, we'll be able to retain the ball a lot more. He's able to, take care of the ball, maintain possession a lot more than Bruno does. So I think Eriksen coming in might be a very, very big boost when it comes to,
But he'd have to drop McTominay though, wouldn't he? That's the thing. Because if he plays Eriksen, he ain't going to drop Bruno because he's captain. Yeah. And then I don't want to see Christian Eriksen as a 6. I don't want to see that shit. So I don't know what he's going to do. I really don't. And I suppose that's, when we get into the predicted 11s, we'll discuss that more in depth.
That's the problem. That's the problem we've got as well, because it's like we've tried putting Bruno out on the wing to try and fit Eriksen in with that, and it just doesn't work. So it's just like what?
Oh, bad. Yeah, I mean it's a nice headache to have in that regard because you've got quality players in certain selections, but I mean I don't know what excuse he's going to have if I just don't know. I have no idea what he's going to go for. I hope he makes the right decision because you're going to need to against West Ham at their stadium.
They're a very good side.
They are a very good side. I'm going to discuss them more in depth and very, very short. The last question I wanted to ask from our side, Connor, Raphael Varane, obviously back in the squad after his kind of hiccup with Erik ten Hag, was really good at Anfield, man of the match, solid defensive display. Obviously, Dallow's not going to be available for this because that stupid fucking red card that he got. But would you kind of go for the same in terms of, again, don't speak about more individuals, but collective flair, the way we defended, would you be happy to see that outfit again?
Yeah, obviously, I'd hope we'd have like Lindelof maybe with Varane in that centre back partnership if Maguire's still out and whatnot. I think obviously the ideal would be Lissandra, but I think Evans has shown in like certain games that he can do a job there, and I think we've seen that at Burnley away. He did a great job there, probably one of our best players in that game to be fair. And he, him and Varane in Liverpool, they did a job, even if it was scruffy. It was done. So it's like, if we can do that, then I'm more than happy with that. Maybe Delo being away for this game might be better for us in this 10-1, because I feel like Wan-Bissaka being in there, he's been away from the team for a bit, but it gives us a bit that more stability in that defence as well. So when you've got players like Paqueta, Kudus, and Bowen, you're probably going to need a Wan-Bissaka more than a Delo, because obviously Delo's very shocking out looking behind himself in it. So
yeah. I feel like if you would have said 10 years ago that a 35-year-old Johnny Evans and Rafael Varane would be starting a game at Anfield for United, I would have said, shut the fuck up. You're talking absolute nonsense.
They both themselves would have said that.
But that's a good point. even when Johnny Evans got signed, everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. This is stupid. It's a 1-year deal. Johnny Evans, 35. But in fairness to the lad, if we didn't have him, we would have been fucked in quite a few situations with the injuries that we've had. So maybe Eric Ten Hag kind of saw this happening with a few injuries or whatever, overseeing it, and was like, so it's a smart decision in the end. I don't care what anyone says. Even if it's 1-year contract, smart decision in my opinion. And he could start Saturday. He could well start. Right, West Ham. Talk a little bit about them. We've spoken about certain dynamics, what you're going to get with them. Transitional team, physical, great on set pieces. Players a great 1v1. A player who Eric Ten Hag will know very well, Shreyas, and we've both sang his praises before, is Kudus, the winger we probably should have got rather than Antony, who's killing it for West Ham at the minute. What have you made of his cameos or appearances so far for them?
He's one of those players who get you, off your feet whenever they're playing on the wings. They're electric. They know what to do, when to do, and they're very confident with their decision making. I was shocked that he didn't move to Brighton and actually moved to West Ham, because I was expecting him to move to a club like Brighton, but he ended up going to West Ham. And then I thought, maybe it's one of those signings once again that West Ham usually have. They get in a very, experienced and very highly rated player and just doesn't hit it when they move there, and then they move to another club. But he's actually been having a very good time there. He's been used as a false nine. He's worked well in that position. He's been used out on the wings as a 10, and he's done well in every single position he's played in for them. And I think once again, if he would have, come to United, we would have been in a very, very different position, I would say. Like, very, very different position. Another player that they've got once again is Edson Alvarez, who has worked under Eric Ten Hag before. He's once again a monster in that midfield, very physical, very good passing range, and as a CDM, he's very, very stable. So I think both of these players, if we want to get a decent result and a decent outing against a team like West Ham, one thing is double down on Kudus. Like, you cannot leave him or allow him even a moment of space around the box, because that's the only thing he needs. He'll just zip through and go for the goal. And when it comes to midfield, if you play McTominay, Alvarez will have the best game of his life tomorrow.
Well, I think, you've got one of the best left backs in the league when on form, in my opinion, in Luke Shaw. And I think, Salah was quiet as fuck and he kept, Salah relatively quiet. So I think he should do a job on Kudus. I'm not too worried about that side, but he's a very dangerous player. What worries you the most about West Ham, Connor? Just your natural feeling when you look at the game on Saturday. What's making you the most anxious, let's say, heading into that?
So I'd say those set pieces, those corner kicks that one person put in is very dangerous, and that's why we're probably going to need at least some height on those headers, because
it's going to be hard trying to find that balance then, isn't it? Because you don't want to necessarily pick McTominay, but then on the set pieces, if you got Eriksen like that, fucking like a salmon trying to reach the ball.
We're gonna be screwed, aren't we? So, so maybe even I'd say I kind of wish that Harry Maguire was available for this as well to get on the end of those.
Absolutely.
Pull that. So I think apart from the set pieces, I'm just more concerned about being outrun in that midfield, because obviously we know Alvarez is a decent player. Ward-Prowse is very good at box to box role, and then they've got very creative players like Paqueta. I can, pick out, Kudus or Bowen just like that, and then Bowen could counter very easily. So it's kind of like, if we switch off, we're screwed. Yeah. So so we can't afford to switch off at any point, because if we do, any of them could just counter us just like that.
100%. Right. Before I'm going to do a pre-quickfire question, just one, before we actually do the quickfire questions, if that makes sense. Right. Does the draw at Anfield go in the bin if we lose on Saturday?
No.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, interesting.
Unless we lose 4-0.
Because, well, I'm saying if we lose, obviously West Ham go above us, so people might reflect on the Anfield result and be like, I don't know, it's just a question to you, but that's fair enough. You've answered. Quick fire questions. Saturday afternoon, 12:30 kickoff, which no one fucking likes. Everyone hates the early kickoff. Never back that. It's one of the reasons why I'm saying I'm a bit concerned about this game. But it's a 12:30 kickoff. It's at the London Stadium. I think West Ham Stadium's called, against West Ham. First question: will Kudus score or get an assist?
No.
I say we'll score.
Okay. Will we concede more than one goal?
Not more than one, no.
No.
Thinking about that for a bit, weren't you? Yeah. Will Højlund break the Premier League curse?
Not at all.
I just don't see it.
We're gonna get another waiting on a... I can't remember.
And if it does, we're all gonna be cheering it like hell.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll be singing that song if he does. How many changes will be made? We're gonna get into the lineups in a sec, but how many in total do you think will be made from Anfield?
2.
Yeah, 1, 2. I don't see many changes from this. It'll be pretty much similar, I reckon.
Okay. And who is your prediction for man of the match? Could be a West Ham player or a United player.
Varane.
I hope not.
I know
that means we're spending a lot.
Hopefully Varane.
Okay, so 2 Varanes there. Right, Shreyas, are we ready to get into the predicted 11s? And let me know whose team's up first.
Yours first.
It's got to be mine. Yeah, of course it is. Right, I'll go. I think I'm going Onana. I've not even got it on my thing. I think I went Onana. I did say Dalot, but Dalot was obviously
suspended.
Red card. So it will be Wan-Bissaka, which I'm happy to see. I think he'll go Evans and Varane again because I haven't seen Lindelof for a hot minute. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's in IKEA or whatever, but he's not been playing for a bit. So I'll go with Evans and Varane. Luke Shaw will go at left back because I think it just makes complete sense. I think he's going to go Amrabat, McTominay and Bruno and then introduce Eriksen in the second half if we need a bit of creativity. And then Anthony, Højlund. And this is the one I struggled on because he has played Garnacho consistently, but I think Marcus might start this one. And I think he might score as well. So I'll go with that.
Next is Connor.
Yeah, so Onana in goal is obvious, most certain. Wan-Bissaka, Evans and Varane. Because I feel like, has there been any news on Lindelof or anything recently?
I'm not seeing anything at all.
Oh.
So,
he's been on the bench.
Yeah,
he's been on the bench.
Yeah, but I've not even seen like the camera on him or anything. I've not seen him walking on the pit. Yeah, at this point, milk cartons. Put him on milk cartons because he's missing. I've not seen him at all.
Well, if anything, he'll probably be back on the bench if he's back because I don't think he'll be. Yeah. Well, he probably would go straight in the lineup. I don't know, but I just. Play regularly on, but God help us if regularly starts.
Yeah.
But I think the midfield one's a bit of a weird one for me because I feel like it's either Mainu or Amrabat, and I feel like I want to. Yeah, I think Anthony, Højlund, and Garnacho. I don't know why you would put Rashford back in the team. To be fair, with when he's not really doing anything himself.
I agree.
I'd say Anthony and that McTominay are probably the only two that I'd question in that starting lineup at a minute.
Interesting. Well, do let me know. Again, more people join the chat. Let me know you started 11 or not. You don't even put the full starting 11. What changes you would make? Who's watching behind the phone, behind the laptop, wherever you are? What changes you would make to your starting 11? So who's coming in? Who's going out? Would you start Eriksen? Would you start Rashford? Talk to me. West Ham Saturday. Talk to me. With everything that's been said, fellas.
Yeah.
Score prediction time. Who wants to go first on that bad boy? No? Want to step up?
I think 1-1.
Just before you do that, okay, no worries. Rick Ballo says, keep the same team for me. Just Dallo out for the big bad one. I love that name, big bad one. Flex Felix says, I would try Dallo as a right winger. He's more productive than Anthony Stark-Rash on the left. Dallo is suspended for this game.
Yeah.
Sorry to break your heart there, but I wouldn't mind seeing Dallo on the right, to be honest with you. Whether it'd work or not, I'm not entirely sure, but I'd be open to it in a cup game or something. Shah Sam, who's a Real Red Ultra member, if you want to become a member, click the link in the bio or the join button next to the notification bell. He's saying keep the same team from Anfield. I think that's fair enough. Dan is saying only change I would make, McTominay out, Bruno in, and I know that's not going to happen. You are probably right on that. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, please, if you can, and get your score predictions in. Connor.
Yeah. I'm torn between a 1-1 or a 2-1 United. I don't know.
I think this is one of the hardest ones to predict.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I really don't know which way it could go, because United this season, they are so up and down. It's so hard to think. And West Ham are in good form.
It's like Liverpool, West Ham are in good form in the Europa League and the Premier League, and then you've got obviously the last 5-1 the other day to Liverpool, but West Ham will probably be up for it again just to try and get back on winning ways again. And obviously we all know that Kudus and Bowen and Ward-Prowse and Alvarez will all start, so it's a guarantee that it's going to be. It's going to be I've got a feeling it's probably going to be like 1-1 more than us winning.
Your brain is fucking muddled in it in a minute. I don't blame you. I genuinely don't blame you, because it's hard to predict.
It's just, it wouldn't surprise me if McTominay scores in this one as well, just because
There's so many different avenues you can go down with. A Ward-Prowse 90th minute free kick could easily happen.
Yeah.
Set piece, McTominay scoring a hat trick. Honestly, any of it can fucking happen. So I suppose that's the excitement of the Premier League. Right, so Shreya, just to confirm, you went 1-1. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, who scores?
I think Bruno scores, and for them, Bowen scores.
Okay. Connor, I need a definitive answer, please.
I'm going to go 2-1 United. I'll be positive from this one.
That's the one.
I'd say Kudus for West Ham will score, and then I'd say McTominay and Garnacho for United.
Right. That means that I feel like I can't go negative now, because you've both said at least.
You should go on negative. That's the only way we perform good.
Okay. Let's do that then. I'll try. I was going to say speak it to existence, but that's doing the opposite. I'll say it, and hopefully it's going to be the opposite. So I'll go 2-1 West Ham. I think Jared Bowen definitely scores, and I think who did I say before score? Rashford. I think Marcus might score as well. And kick on, and he'll end up scoring 30 goals in the season, like last season. Happy days. Sam saying 2-1 West Ham. As always, positive Sam. Love it.
Yeah.
Dan Raj saying 2-1 United, and Shah Sam is saying Højlund and Antony. I mean, the odds on that must be fucking astronomical, because Højlund hasn't scored in the Premier League, and Antony
hasn't scored for 9 months.
Has Antony scored yet? He's not, has he? Oh my
9
god,
months.
he's still not
9
scored.
months running. 9 months running. It's going to be a year almost that he hasn't scored or assisted or done anything.
Well, I don't know if any of you's got the little old notification today, but Ahmad's back in it.
Yeah.
Back training. Actually training though. Like we got 3 weeks ago on the grass.
Maybe he's on the bench.
Oh, if he's on the bench, I'll be excited. Very excited. I'll be like, get fucking Antony off, mate, and get Ahmad on right now. Because he's done fuck all for 9 months. And Ahmad at Sunderland, it was class. Absolutely class. So, yeah, I'd be eager to see that. And Flex Felix says, Antony, no goals, no assists. That is horrendous. For 85 million quid. Oh my days. Right, anyway, I don't want to end it on sour grapes or sour notes. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I keep mentioning the members videos. It's like 3 that I need to do at this point. But I promise I will do them over the weekend. It's been mad busy at work, mad busy with this channel. So I will do members videos over the weekends. If there's any ideas that you guys want to chuck in there that you want to see, or it's stuff around Old Trafford or whatever it is, I will film it and I will get it out there. But it's just been a mad busy schedule, especially around Christmas as well. So apologies about that. Yeah, and Dan's left me with a positive message there. Ahmad on the bench, so that his picture can be posted in MUTV. Right? Yeah. Cheers to Connor and Shreyas for coming on. Cheers to Shreyas for the show earlier today. If you didn't see that, make sure you go check that out. That was in regards to the European Super League, and they want to fucking bring it back, and we're not letting them. So make sure you go check that video. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for a new show, and then Saturday for a pre-match build-up and the review as well. So take care, have a lovely day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Cheers, lads.